Seriously, if you come right down to it, there are basically two things that make a room, a space, a house, apartment, an area, a space that a person lives in look like really like kind of like trashed out. Let's talk about this back in a minute. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi, this is Jan. Welcome to another episode on the Save Money and More with Jan channel. How you doing today? Thank you so much for being here. Really do appreciate everybody's time. I want to talk to you today about 8 disturbing reasons why some places look really, really sloppy. But the truth be told, they can easily get tidy whitey. How you doing today? I hope everybody's doing well. There are actually, if you boil it down, and I mean like boil it down to the nitty gritty, there are actually two things that make a space look like a disaster, a total mess. And I'm going to tell you what they are right now. Two things that make any space look like a disaster and a mess: clothes thrown all over the place and trash that needs to be picked up. What? Me? You're telling me about trash and clothes? Listen, I'm talking to a broad range of listeners that may not apply to you. But believe it or not, sometimes people don't recognize. They throw a coat here, they put a shirt there, here a shirt, there a coat, there a hat, there's the shoes. And then the place looks like a disaster area. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the other thing, when I say trash, now I'm not talking about barrels of trash in one's home. If somebody's keeping barrels of trash inside their home, they really got to check that out. That's like really bad, in my opinion. But I'm talking about, even like, for example, people eat a candy bar, and instead of putting the wrapper into the, what I hope people have a little bit of a, paper waste basket inside of every room. And by the way, that's a really good tip. That's a really, really good tip. Okay. Keeping a little bit of a waste basket. Sometimes you don't have to go out and buy a waste basket. If I told you that every single year I collect those popcorn cans, those popcorn cans you get in the holiday season, put a little bag in there. They make great little paper waste baskets for under your desk. You don't have to buy a new one. If you have one of those, you could recycle that. There you go. I'm just saying. But it's the little candy wrapper here and the little twist tie from some bread thing thrown on the floor. It's those little things. I don't know about you, but it's those little things that personally get on my last nerve. Like the little things that we could easily tackle. And by having, for example, one of those little paper waste baskets in one's room, that's great. As far as the clothing goes, listen, that's a matter of habits developed. It really, really is. A lot of people, for example, they use their hamper as their clothing closet, their laundry hamper. They wear something, it's not even dirty. They didn't go out and dig a ditch. No. So instead of walking all the way to a hanger and hanging it up, whoa, no, 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 we can't do that. We don't want to do that. Instead, we'll just go right away to the clothing hamper, even though the clothing article isn't even dirty. See, these are the things that make rooms look sloppy. So the two things that, in my observation in life in general, are that make a room look really, really sloppy: clothing strewn all over the place, and wrappers, candy wrappers, paper trash, things of that nature. All right, so we know that. So now that we've established that, and I bet you tend to agree with me on that. Next, too many things sitting on top of things. For example, look in our kitchens, all right? Now, don't get me wrong, especially people that live in big cities, they're very tight on space. I get that. That's kind of like almost its own category. But if you've been blessed with a large kitchen counter and you could actually put the tiny appliances, back where they belong, isn't that nicer than looking at all those, gizmos and gadgets? Although some people are happy with that. And I guess if you're happy with that, to each their own. But to me, visually, let's just talk about to me. To me, visually, looking at things like too many things on top of things, to me looks cluttery, but that's just one person's opinion. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments section below. The next one, in my opinion, is really gross. To me, this is really, really gross, and is definitely part of a disturbing reason why some places look really, really sloppy, but can easily get tidy whitey. Day old dishes in the sink. Now, I'm not saying that there's never, ever, ever, ever a really, and I mean a really great reason. Like, for example, let's say you on a long drive home and it took you way longer than expected to get home, and you had a very, very late meal that night. You are like beyond exhausted, and you soak your dishes in sudsy water for overnight on that rare occasion. Understandable. Totally get it. I get it. And right away, first thing in the morning, you took care of it. That's amazing. That's wonderful. I get that. But I'm not talking about that kind of thing. I'm talking about when sometimes, like, I don't know, sometimes some people, they're okay with always keeping, things soaking and never ever, cleaning them up right away. They're okay with that. Let's just say for myself, Janet, no, that I couldn't do that. I could not do that. I would hate to wake up in the morning and the first thing I see in my kitchen sink are dishes, soaking from the night before. Like I said, I'm not talking about a rare occasion where things, real life happens, and that could happen. But people that make a habit out of it, to me, it wouldn't work for me. I'm only talking about me on that instant. All right. Things like hats, coats, jackets, things that, and I mentioned it a little while back, that can easily be hung up. But Jan, I'm only going to take it out of the closet tomorrow to wear. But you have the whole night ahead of you to not have to look at that coat or hat or lay it on the chair. It takes 2 seconds to hang it up. It's also better for the article of clothing. It could breathe better. It could straighten out better. It could stay not wrinkle longer. Look at it like that too. You're preserving your article of clothing. So, now sometimes people keep things and they tie up a lot of space before saying this. Here's what they usually say. Well, someday I'm going to use it. Now, you know me long enough to know I do believe in repurposing things. Yes, yes. But even if you've repurposed it to the max, there are times everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And there are times we have to say goodbye and part company with some of the stuff that we have. Okay. That's just the way it works. We could choose to bless someone else with it. But keeping things that, they've seen their day. And then how about the ones that always say, well, someday I'm going to use that thing, someday, but they said someday 10 years ago, and it's already been proven they didn't use it yet. So what is that telling you? Someday is not going to happen. If it didn't happen for 10 years, why would it happen tomorrow? You see where I'm going with this? So always keeping things for the imaginary someday that never happens, but you're tying up valuable real estate space, if you will, literally real estate space, literally tying up space. I mean, seriously. Now, here's another thing that people don't have to do. I mean, they should do this. Instead of or reorganizing all the stuff, including the extra clutter, does that even make logical sense? What do I mean by that? Say, Janet, I don't understand. In other words, take the following strategy. Before reorganizing things, get rid of the stuff you're absolutely not going to use anymore. Does it even make sense to reorganize or buy a bigger drawer, a better box, a cuter hanger for things you're not using? You have to be honest. Self-honesty, again, as usual, self-honesty is really imperative here, Be honest with yourself. Do I really, really plan to use this thing? Sometimes you just have to admit and say, no, I don't plan to use it. I don't want it anymore. That doesn't make you a bad person if you finish using something. It had its life. Bless it. Kiss it goodbye. Thank it. Whatever it takes to get you motivated enough to understand that it is time to part company. Consider, like I always say, blessing someone else with it if it's in good condition. If it is not in good condition, adios, amigo. Thank you. Say goodbye to it. I'm just saying. And here's a really, really good habit to keep decluttering at bay. All right, we'll talk about decluttering at a little extra length at this moment. But here's first the trick. Let's say you get a brand new bottle of shampoo. Okay, you're standing in your shower. You still see two bottles that are empty, still standing in the shampoo stand in the shower. And you ask yourself, you pick it up every day and it's empty. And you ask yourself, why is it still there? Waiting for the shampoo empty bottle gods to take it away from you. Hasn't happened yet, has it? Even if you live in a family and you're assuming somebody else will take it to the trash and throw the empty bottles out, forget about that. Do it yourself. The minute you open up a brand new bottle of shampoo, the others are over with, gone. Because why are you opening up a brand new bottle if you didn't finish the other one? I'm going to presume you finished to the last drop the other one. With prices the way they are, I don't waste anything. I'm assuming you don't either. So why keep two extra empty bottles of shampoo there? I'm just asking why. Like, why? Okay. If it's taking up real estate space, that's declutterable, if there is such a word. Just get rid of it. Say bye bye. Now, next, when decluttering, I ask myself a few questions while I'm decluttering. One, do I really, really, really need this item? Do I really, really, really want to keep it because I love it that much? I mean, I have to ask myself those questions. So, two little questions. Is it worth it? Well, three, taking up that extra space. These are questions you could ask yourself. All right. So let's talk about decluttering for a minute. Decluttering should be the easiest phase to me. To me. Okay. Now, here's where people get tripped up. People get tripped up with decluttering because they feel they have to be, as I call, a weekend warrior. Do everything in a short period of time. We take on the world. That might work for a few people. I'm not saying it doesn't work for some people, but it doesn't work for this people, meaning me. Doesn't work for this person. I need to and have to do things in incremental baby bites, just like I do with saving money. I believe in saving money and incremental baby bites. In fact, here's my daily reminder. Hang on. As usual, you probably heard me say as usual because there seems to be a delay. But saving money should never go out of style. It should never be considered old fashioned. It should never be like, oh, let's just jump into investing. Investing is a great thing to do, but you have to start saving first. This is my opinion. All right. Hopefully, it'll be your opinion as well. Okay. Let's get back to the decluttering thing. All right. People get overwhelmed decluttering. If somebody were to tell me you, meaning me, have to declutter your unit in 12 hours, I'd be like, what? Every little facet of the unit you have to declutter in 12 hours. That would be horrible. Horrible. So why would I impose that on myself? I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. For me, I rather say, today I'm going to take this section of the closet today and I am going to declutter it. And not only that, I'm going to put a timer on it. For me, Janet, putting a timer on certain things is great. It lets me know that, well, you only have a certain amount of time to do this because you do have another part of your life going on, like millions of other things besides cleaning, cooking, decluttering, and everything else. We have other facets of life going on. So for me to just sit around and just worry about, so I take my timer and I'll put it on, let's say, a half hour. You'll be shocked and amazed what you could get done in a half hour. Or, for example, I might take one drawer. We have like bureaus, dressers, like most of us do. Okay. And I'm not going to go through twelve of them today. I'm not doing that. But today I don't mind going through one. Big deal. I could look through one and go, yeah, I'll keep this. I'll get rid of that. I'll keep this. I'll get rid of that. Just like that. And then tomorrow, I'll take another drawer if I want to do it tomorrow or skip a day and come back. You have to do a workable schedule, a realistic schedule. All right. So here's a summation for me. I know it went on a little longer than usual, but it's all right. Every once in a while, you'll get a little bit longer video from me. I'm just saying. All right. So here we go with this. Let's summarize with this. All right, declutter first before organizing. It doesn't pay to reorganize clutter. It doesn't even make sense. Visually, trash and clothes thrown all around makes a house or a home look dirty when it shouldn't. It shouldn't be. If you have extra countertop space, you got little appliances that are cluttering it when you could just easily put them below and close the door and not have to look at it till the next time. I say, in my opinion, go for it. If you don't have that space, you don't have that space. You got to keep it as such. I'm just saying. Replace new bottles, get rid of old bottles of shampoo. That's just the example. When you replace with new, get rid of the old. I'm just saying. All right, everybody, please let me know in the comment section below what you use as a helpful tidy up your house type thing. What's a nice tidy decluttering trick or tip that you like to use? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to do the following. Oh, okay. Very, very good. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate everybody's time. Don't forget, while you are decluttering, straightening up, to listen to happy sounds. Happy sounds are good. P.S. Decluttering has an extra bonus to go with it. It doesn't cost you a thin dime. P.S.S. Decluttering, you may find things you forgot you owned, saving you more money. At the end of the day, it's a win-win situation. Have an amazing, fantastic day, everybody. Take good care of yourself and your amazing family.